Inside the Queen's jaw-dropping royal homes. When Queen Elizabeth II died at 96, it seemed natural that she did it in Balmoral Castle. She might always retire from public life at a private home in northern Scotland, relax with the royal family, and stroll the foggy countryside. However, Balmoral is only one of 6 residences the Queen has called home during her 7-decade reign, each rich in royal history, architectural value, and political significance. These structures, some crown-owned, like Buckingham Palace, and others, like Balmoral, privately owned retreats, are not just physical reminders of her life of service to the United Kingdom, but also enduring symbols of future monarchs and queens. Hello everyone, and welcome to another video on our channel. In today's video, we're going to discuss inside the Queen's jaw-dropping royal homes, so stay tuned to find out. Now let's start our video. Buckingham Palace. None of the Queen's residences is more well-known than Buckingham Palace. The home's history may be traced back to the 17th century when it was initially used as a mulberry plantation and then as the Duke of Buckingham's residence. However, the current neoclassical U-shaped design of the palace did not become a reality until the reign of George IV, when architect John Nash and later architects Edward Blower and James Pennethorne were commissioned to develop the old skyscraper on the site. Following her father's ascension to the throne in 1936, Queen Elizabeth moved into the palace's royal residences. The palace has 775 rooms, including 19 exquisite staterooms for royal rituals and hosting visiting heads of state. Buckingham Palace's balcony is notable for hosting the royal family on special events like birthdays, weddings, and the yearly trooping of the color. The Windsor Castle. Windsor Castle, located west of London, has almost 1,000 years of history, making it the world's oldest and largest continuously inhabited castle. This spectacular, crenellated castle has nearly 1,000 chambers and has been home to 39 monarchs over its lengthy history. During World War II, the Queen and her sister Margaret used Windsor Castle as a refuge. Later in life, the Queen used it as a weekend retreat. Even though the castle was damaged by fire in 1992, Prince Philip oversaw the meticulous restoration that restored it to its former glory. St. George's Chapel on the grounds of Elizabeth's beloved house will host her funeral service and serve as the last resting place for Elizabeth, her parents, sister, and husband. The castle is the residence of Balmoral. The Queen's retreat was Balmoral, while Buckingham Palace and Windsor Castle were utilized for government activity. The privately owned, turreted rural estate in the heart of a 50,000 woodland acres offers royals a place to relax, unwind, and appreciate nature away from prying eyes. Queen Victoria and Prince Albert bought the land on which the current home stood in 1848. Queen Elizabeth would eventually spend many happy summers here. According to palace officials, she died of natural causes at her home. If you're liking this content so far, please consider subscribing and liking the video. Now let's continue. The Holyrood Palace. This vast estate at the end of Edinburgh's famous Royal Mile was formerly the location of an abbey and is now home to a palace. According to legend, King David of Scotland saw a stag with a cross between its antlers there in 1128. He founded the monastery, which he named Holyrood or Holy Cross. 4 centuries later, during the reign of James IV, another palace was built on the site, this time in the classical style thanks to the efforts of architect William Bruce, whose work was not completed until the late 17th century. The 289-room castle is currently the official royal residence in Scotland, and it was here that Queen Elizabeth held her famed annual summer garden parties, which attracted visitors from all over the world. The Sandringham Estate. The Sandringham Estate, like Balmoral, was the personal property of the Queen. It was the ultimate burial place of Elizabeth's father, George V, who described it as the site I love better than anywhere else in the world, before his death on February 6, 1952. Since then, the Queen has spent the anniversaries of her father's death and her ascension to the throne at the huge 20,000-acre estate, Christmas, and the yearly corgi burials. There were Elizabethan-era homes there before, but the current tower was commissioned by King Edward VII, the son of Queens Albert and Victoria. The old hall was deemed too small, so it was demolished, and A.J. Humbert built a much larger one in its place 10 years later. Colonial R.W. Edis added another wing. The Hillsborough Castle. This massive palace was erected in the 18th century and now serves as the official residence of Northern Ireland's Secretary of State. The house is not a castle, but a country mansion, despite its name. According to Hillsborough's website, the highest Anglo-Irish classes used to call their mansions castles to show off their royalty. The first royal connection was forged when Princess Alice, Queen Victoria's granddaughter, arrived in 1933. Elizabeth stayed at Hillsborough on her first official visit to Northern Ireland in 1946. Later significant landings included a special coronation banquet in 1953, a helicopter stopover during the Troubles in 1977, and a historic meeting with Irish President Mary McAleese in December 2005. Well, that's all for today's video. Tell us in the comment section how this video was. I hope that you found this one interesting. You can subscribe and watch more videos on our channel to keep up with more content. We'll see you in the following video with some more notable celebrities, facts, and stories. And until then, stay tuned.